What if Noelle Holiday was goth? Welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be drawing Noelle from Deltarune. This drawing will be inspired by a little Easter egg that is in the game that's on chapter 4. Once you go into her room and towards her bed, there's gonna be some text that pops up and it mentions a CD with her on the cover with dark makeup. It's not anything too major, but it got me thinking about how I can redesign her. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to be sketching, lining, and coloring Noelle with a little bit of edge. For the sketching portion, I had references on hand, so I just kept like her normal design, but I added some different design elements. Basically, I just gave her pigtails and I gave her arm warmers. Her vest is sleeveless, so I gave her that as well. And yeah, just give her a little bit of like a edgier look to her. As with any sketch, it is gonna start off messy. I like to have my ideas put out on the paper first, so I don't really like do thumbnails or anything. I just like to go on and do the photo. And when working on her face, I mainly gave her darker eyeshadow and longer lashes. That way it gives off, a little bit of a gothic vibe. This depends on what type of gothic you're thinking of. And I'm gonna do something a little bit different here. Instead of lining my sketching, I just decided to lightly erase it with a kneadable eraser. And I just rolled it up and then rolled it across my paper to get off as much of the pencil lines as possible. But not to the point where it fully erases the sketch. I want to be able to see the lines on the paper because I'm gonna go over it and tone it with alcohol markers. So I go based off of the reference image that I'm using, which is basically her sprite from the game. And I lightly, well, not lightly, I add the color yellow to the base of her photo because she does have a bit of yellow undertones with her character. So I tone the parts of her body with the color yellow, and then I do it with her arms, head, hair, antlers, all that except for the clothes because I don't think it's gonna even show up as much. I even tested out some of the colors beforehand before even like coloring her. So I have it on this sheet right here. It's gonna show all the colors that I think would fit her best. I even blended some of the colors to see how it would look, and these are the colors that I ended up choosing. I'm using Arteza Everblend markers. They only had chisel and the fine point tips, and they do not sell these markers anymore. It's been years since I bought these, but luckily they still work. But unfortunately, they don't sell them anymore, and this is what I have left. It came with at least 200 colors, which was nice. It was a very nice bargain at the time. It was like $145 for everything, which was cool. But unfortunately they don't sell them anymore. After laying down the yellow color, I did end up using this specific color right here, just to color her fur and everything. And then you can tell like there's a little bit of a yellow undertone after adding the color on top of the yellow, and you can see that through the image. And when working with alcohol markers, you have to work in layers. So I started off with the tone, which is the yellow, and then I started off with her base fur color, and then after that I start off with the eyeshadow color, which is like a slightly grayish color, and then it luckily it does not fully mess with the color underneath it. And then I ended up blending that darker shade again, that way it fits her fur a lot better. And then I added some darker grays in the corners, and then the middle gray would be like the shiny part of it. I even end up shading without doing any of the line work yet. You can still see the pencil lines and everything, so I won't be losing my place on where I put in my colors. Once all the shading is done, I start doing the line work. So I have varying line widths whenever I put down a line on the piece of paper. And I end up using a brush tip pen. So it's going to be varying with line width. It's going to be very sensitive based on how hard you press on the paper and everything. So once I start off soft, go down hard, and then start off soft again. So I end up having line work with more characteristic. You don't have to do this. I just personally like doing my artwork with different types of line widths. And I do this all over the drawing. I just vary my line widths. Like I start off soft and then I go hard again. And if I want a thicker line, and then I start off softer again, just so I can get a more pointed line, and it's a lot cleaner. And I'm using a Tombow liner. They still sell this. You can go to your local Blick or art store, and they're still gonna have these specific Tombow liners. They're gonna come in two. One of them is more pointed, and another one is more loose. And these have always been my go-to liner pens. I bought so many liners, like I even have a giant brush pen. and I barely use it. These Tombow ones are my go-to liners, and I will love them forever. And they have not lost their ink yet, and I've been using these for about 4 years. So once I'm done lining, I'm gonna add these little bits of highlights. I have a white acrylic marker that I'm gonna use to like give details and make Noelle pop out more. Just gives her more like depth. And here it is. It's the finished drawing. I hope you guys liked this video. It was really fun to make this drawing, and I have so many ideas coming up for the next few weeks. So I hope you guys are able to like, subscribe, and just like interact with this channel a lot more. I love interacting with the people that come by here. And yeah, you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching.